All right, guys. So we got a whole bunch of topics on here. Thank you to those that added stuff. I'm going to jump around on these just to get some done. We talked about the owner occupied. Has anybody thought about that for their first time buyers?
I actually have a lead that I just got. She's looking for that.
For a two to four family?
Mm-hmm.
I would think
I just spoke with her this morning.
some of the
Wow.
issues are that there's just not that many out there. Now, I watch all the multifamilies in St. Louis City and County. I have an auto search for all of them. Um, there's definitely more been listed in the last 60 days than I've seen all year.
Yeah,
No,
she said that she saw some, but they were all ugly and she didn't like them. And there's just not a lot out there. So,
all right. Well, something to think about to keep in mind for your clients. So, really, what happened there was, if you read in our notes, Freddie Mac is now aligned with Fannie Mae, so that's why they changed the down payment, which is awesome. Hopefully, things like that continue keep happening. I was having a conversation with Jennifer Schmerick yesterday, and she's trying to figure out, you guys have a decent amount of buyers, and a lot of them that aren't with our lenders. And obviously, they support our business pretty hard, quite a bit with regards to marketing, advertising, etc. So I talked to Schmerick yesterday, and she said, what if you offered a 250, if she would offer a $250 credit at closing. Now they would have to buy with her, obviously, but just to speak with her. So your client that's currently with X lender, if they would look at another lending opportunity to see if she could beat them, she would give a $250 credit at closing. Do you think that would help at all?
I think it would.
I mean, why not? I mean, it's an easy thing to say.
Right.
so
Um,
wait, so what, how would you say that?
well, I was calm down, Jenny.
Uh,
Easy trigger. So let's go through that. Like, let's just say, Kim, just do it with me. That you have a pre-approved buyer. Now, what are the questions that you're going to ask if they're pre-approved?
Well, I mean, I'm going to ask what lender it's with, and if they tell me it's somebody out of town, I would say, okay, just keep in mind when you submit an offer and you're in competition with other people, they're going to want the listing agent and the seller is going to want to see somebody local. And the benefit of having a local lender is we actually know these people. They have more skin in the game, and I have their cell phone number, so I can reach
Right.
them on the weekend, which is when you're going to be writing offers. You're going to need to get in touch with the lenders on the weekend. If you're comfortable with that lender, that's great. But I do have a lender that will offer you a $250 credit just for talking to them to see if they can beat the current um, pre-approval letter that you have. Um,
Perfect. So the only thing I'll say is make sure you say a $250 credit at closing if you
at
close with
closing,
her.
if you close with her.
Yeah, because she's not giving a closing or a credit
Right,
for closing with someone else.
right.
Let's hit the nail on the head. Number one, out of town buyer. Who are a couple of the companies locally that if you see that pre-approval letter, you're probably not going to work with them?
Bank of
Bank of
America.
America.
Yes.
Well,
Commerce Bank. I mean, any of those local little
I always
bank,
say the
US Bank, Bank of America, even
local
Commerce.
banks that just have a mortgage department
Yeah.
is what I say. The somebody who strictly does mortgage lending is going to beat a local bank with a mortgage department.
Okay, so what if they went to their credit union? What would that conversation look like? Heather, how about you? What if you got a pre-approved buyer and they're like, "Oh, I'm with you know, Joe Schmo, my credit union."
I would just say, oh, do you have a personal relationship with them? Just to see, because sometimes if it's family, you know you're not going to win over those
So that's
people.
another, that's a whole nother ball game. Agreed.
Yes.
So
So if it's not, and they'll say, no, it's just I bank there. I say, oh, great. I said, I always encourage my clients to get a second opinion. And we actually have a lender right now who is local. She works, what do I say about her? I always say she's local and she answers her phone on evenings and weekends when we need to strategize the most. Because when we go look at a house, we're going to spend time strategizing. So when you work with somebody in a bank, they're going to work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. You try calling them at 5:01, they will not be available to answer any questions. So what I would do is at least hear Jennifer out, talk to her, and you decide who you're more comfortable working with. But I guarantee you, it's going to be Jennifer because she's going to answer all of your questions very thoroughly.
that's another great point, is being able to touch someone on a weekend. Because when do you usually write contracts?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the weekend, right?
Mhm.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even Monday. And who knows if it's bank holiday, they're gone, but other people, we can still get them on the phone. Probably the most powerful statement that I always said with anyone is, why not look at a second opinion? A slight change in rate could mean tens of thousands of dollars over the course of the mortgage. I mean, if you say that sentence, why would someone not look at it? If
Yeah.
they trust you, especially, right?
Yeah.
It's
A slight
free.
change in the interest
A
rate.
slight change in interest rate could mean the savings of tens of thousands of dollars over the course of the mortgage. But you're not looking at just that. Look at all the fees that they're charging you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just because someone might you think has a sexy rate, they can be charging you on the back end with fees up front at the closing. And you got to make sure you're comparing apples to apples, meaning
Yeah.
any of these mortgage lenders, they're guessing at two things. One, what the title company fees are going to be. Well, we know those. So ours are exact. They're going to guess. Number two would be the homeowner's insurance. So one might put $150 on there a month. The other one could put $250 a month because they actually know that's what it's going to cost. So you got to make sure you're comparing apples to apples. So when you can tell your clients when they're getting these, they've got to focus on, don't worry about the other fees. It's just the lender fees that you're looking at if you get into a deeper conversation. Now,
Everyone should know too that you can get an estimate from Freedom Title on the title fees if you want.
well, and both of our lenders should know those numbers pretty easy. They send out their seller closing fee did raise $50 this year. So now it's 545 instead of 495. But other than that, the only other charge on that side is a closing protection letter, which is now a requirement for the government, is
Oh,
$25. All right, so what happens if what's the one time that is probably really, really hard? And Heather, you already brought this up, to convert someone to another
Fam-
lender.
Family member or relative, that is the lender.
yeah, or just a personal relationship with.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Um,
Now, what I've learned is the first time you're having this conversation with people, like meaning the very first time you're talking to them, it's really hard. And honestly, I kind of shy back a little bit from trying to push any other lender on them at the get-go because I'm still trying to build that relationship.
yeah.
But as soon as they trust you, that's when you can go in for the change. Because if you get on the phone and the very first thing you're saying is, oh, don't use that lender, that lender's terrible, you got to talk to my lender, they may not like that aspect, right? So get that connection first.
I mean, the other thing I'll say though is you just said credit union, and the credit union is the one place that I feel like seriously competes with our lenders.
Agreed. Or lower interest rate.
I don't
Yeah.
disagree. But again, it's free.
Yeah.
Send over the pre
Yeah. Why
the
wouldn't I don't
good
know why they
faith to
wouldn't
see
do
what the
it.
number is. And our lender will be honest. And they can beat it or they can't.
Yeah.
Now I'll tell you this. Schmerick is going to beat it almost every time that she possibly can, and so will Scott. unless it's physically not possible. What's the First Community Credit Union? That's one you see quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
They usually have very good interest rates. So
Yeah.
that's tough to beat.
And I usually share with my clients, and you guys can tell me if you would advise this or not, is I always say that credit unions are really great at what they do. They have great rates, but when it comes to the back end, when we need them most,
Yeah.
they're not available. And so I encourage them to, yes, I can appreciate what they do, but when it comes to lending for a home, it's not usually the most timely thing. And sometimes the time is what matters most when purchasing a home. So deadlines, that type of thing is how I bring that up, of saying it's very important that we keep our deadlines, and we may have to move quickly, and a local lender is able to do that for us. I
Okay.
don't know that your credit union could do that, especially in a competitive market.
Yeah.
All right. So let's